Well, here we are again. We've wrapped up another season on Coastin Thru Europe. We made it through all 20 plus episodes. That was crazy.
Thank you guys so much for watching the series so religiously, because after doing one season, we had no idea that people were gonna like it so much. Like, it was kind of like let's just try this and see how it works out. And your support has just been through the roof, and I would be shocked if this is the end of this series. So
yeah, absolutely.
There's gonna be more. There will be more.
What we want to do is the same thing that we did last year, where we kind of put all those videos together, all those memories and experiences, and create superlatives.
So a lot of these are the same categories as last year because, I mean, they still apply.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and dive into things right now.
We're starting things with most surprising roller coaster, and this is going to be purely like an expectations thing, right? This is not going to be the same answers for everyone, but the nominees are Galactica at Alton Towers, Huracan at Belwarda, Dragon's Fury at Chessington, and Timber at Walby Roan Alps. And the winner is Huracan at Belwarda.
This ride was incredible. First of all, the park was great. And then we get to this ride and we see like one little outdoor portion, and I assumed it was all going to be outdoors. And it is like this insanely well-themed dark ride roller coaster experience. I was so blown away.
Yeah, we did like multiple rides down this thing. This is a roller coaster we knew nothing about.
No.
We didn't even know it was here. That was it. And so we walk in, we're like blown away by this thing. So yeah, that is like an underrated ride.
Following most surprising coaster is the next category, most surprising theme park. And the nominees for that are Paultons Park in the UK, Belwarda in Belgium, Le Pal in France, and Drayton Manor in the UK as well.
And the winner is
Paultons Park!
I loved this place.
Okay, I hear it's like a kid's park, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, like it'll be cool, we'll pop in, like it'll be fun, whatever. I did not expect it to be so well themed.
It was amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I loved it.
And it seems like people in the UK who have visited Paultons Park are all aware about it. They're like, oh yeah, Paultons Park is amazing. Like when we start posting about it, people are like, you didn't know that? We're like, no, if you're coming from the US, like you don't really hear much about Paultons Park at all.
No, you really don't. Hence why it won most surprising, because to us, it was.
Much like most surprising coaster, the category of biggest letdown takes a look at the opposite end of the spectrum. So what was a roller coaster that did not meet our expectations? And the nominees are Mandrill Mayhem at Chessington, Namazu at Vulcania, Tornado at Parque de Atracciones, and the Topple Tower at Belwarda. And the winner is Mandrill Mayhem at Chessington.
Yeah, this was kind of a bummer because you're like, okay, it's gonna be a B&M wing coaster. Like, it's gonna be a family version, but it's still a wing coaster. The thing that made it the biggest letdown is because it doesn't ride well at all.
Yeah, I walked away from it, I was like, oh, that was it? Like, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy the experience.
The spiral wasn't even that cool. Like, none of it was. And on paper, it should be.
Yeah, I mean, visually, it was amazing. Like, walking around that area, it was really well done. But the coaster itself, I was just like, I don't know, it didn't do it for me. It's not because of, like, the fact that it's a family coaster. It's not that I was expecting something super high thrills. Like, for what it is, it still wasn't that great.
And I want to mention the other runner-ups in this category. Namazu we put on here because of the whole idea that it was an intimate multi-launch coaster with a drop track. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're like, Hagrid's. It's not.
No, it's
not.
Tame.
That was our own fault for putting our expectations there when it's like, at the end of the day, it's kind of a kid's park.
Yeah.
Having Tornado on there was because it's intimate and you're just kind of, again, you expect that it's going
to
be
an intimate
way
invert.
More.
Like, oh, it's going to be like Volcano. Like, well, obviously, it's not.
There was no volcano for starters.
No, definitely not.
And then the Topple Tower was pretty much because it was cooler to look at than to ride.
Yes, correct.
All right, next up is most creative attraction. Now, this is not limited to any particular category of ride. This could be anything.
Yeah.
So the nominees for this are going to be the Bee Dark Ride at Parc du Bicassi, Namazu at Vulcania, Huracan at Belwarda, and Nemesis Subterra at Alton Towers. Now, I want to make a quick note about Namazu because it was just under a not-so-great category, and now it is in a very good category. While the roller coaster was not what we expected, the ride idea is very creative, and I just want to make that clear.
It's well themed.
However, it didn't win. Nemesis did.
Nemesis Subterra. This was awesome. So, obviously, this ride was closed for several years, and so...
If you don't want to know anything, you should mute your thing really quick.
Correct, yeah. So, during my first visit to Alton Towers, I didn't get to experience it. I never really heard anything about it, other than, like, I was told it was some sort of drop ride. And so going in, I thought it was going to be an indoor frog hopper with some flashing lights. Is not anywhere close to that.
No, and you know what kind of stings for me was that as soon as we walked into the main room, I knew exactly what was going to happen. And that was kind of a bummer because none of you guys did, because you've never done something like that. I did Stitch's Great Escape when that was the thing at Magic Kingdom, and it was extraterrestrial or whatever before that. Sure. And I knew exactly what the effects were and everything. I was like, dang it. So when it started happening and everyone's screaming, I was like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. But it was still fantastic.
I didn't even know what Stitch's Great Escape was. Like, I had heard of it, but I didn't know what the ride or attraction was. And so, like, when things started, like, poking my back and touching, I was like, holy crap. And then the whole thing dropped. I was like, what?
That did not happen on the Stitch. So that was very cool. That was a cool surprise.
That was amazing. Quality attraction. Let's talk about the weirdest theme parks we've visited. Europe is definitely full of some quirky places, to say the least. And we definitely visited some odd ones in Coastin Thru Europe Season 1. And I think we gave the award to Bon Bon Land last year.
Well, that was... out of the ones we did this year, Bon Bon Land still would win.
It still would win. So none of these are going to be as weird as Bon Bon Land. But our nominees are Niglo Land, because it is more or less a knockoff of Disney and Europa
Park. It's beautiful,
Park.
don't get me wrong, but it's still a bizarre, like, alternate universe Disney.
Correct. Park St. Paul, because what the heck is going on there with all those statues? I have no idea. Volcania, because is it even a theme park? This felt like a museum or education center.
I don't know.
And then Parc du Bacassi, because it's Kentucky Kingdom style. It's split down the middle, and it has its own, like, family-owned, like, weird stuff. Kind of like we mentioned the Bee Dark Ride earlier. And so, for the winner here, we gave it to Park St. Paul.
Yeah, that was a weird place. That was a weird everything that day.
Yeah, the atmosphere is just very, very strange going. Like, it's nice, but you're walking around and you're like, I don't know what's going on. And all the rides are very strange. Like, their most thrilling ride is like a Russian manufactured, like, it's called Wild Train. It's just very weird. Like, they went for very unconventional choices here.
Next category is a personal favorite. Weirdest coaster, because I love weird. And there's some weird ones on here. The nominees are Wild Train, which we literally just mentioned, Shockwave at Drayton Manor, Mandrill Mayhem at Chessington, and I don't know what it's called, but the plane coaster at Flamingo Land.
Yeah, that was just a weird, like, family coaster where you're riding a little plane just go, wee! It's like trying to be a suspended coaster.
Because you said you had done one before.
I did one that was kind of similar at Fuji Q. Yeah.
I had never seen one of those, and I was like, what?
You took one look at it and you're like, this is odd.
But I was like, I have to ride it.
Yeah.
I do. And the winner is the Wild Train.
It is not a big ride. So you walk up to it and you expect it to be like a family coaster. But
it is not.
It was like pretty thrilling for what it is. And it pulled some pretty good forces there.
Yeah, it was a weird layout. I think we were just like not accustomed to that type of coaster. Like, that's not a manufacturer
that we're used to. Yeah, not at all. Especially, like, we had just done the drop tower right before that, and the drop tower is, like, very underwhelming. Yeah. And so, like, we're gonna ride this, and we're like, all right, this will probably be whatever. And we get off, and we're like, whoa, that was...
Like, that was actually really cool.
But I remember it being, like, significantly better in the back versus, like, the front. Next up is a new category, which, in retrospect, we probably should have had last year, but we definitely need this year. And this is the weirdest non-roller coaster ride. So, pretty self-explanatory. We have the Bee Dark Ride at Parc du Bacassi, the Dark Ride at Flamingo Land, Gangster Granny at Alton Towers, and then the King Kong Ride at La Pal.
That was an experience.
Yeah. So the winner here is the Bee Dark Ride at Parc du Bacassi.
And it's, you know what, you're not gonna understand until you just do it. There's like, and I'm not exaggerating, probably 1,000 different bee animatronics that are all doing different jobs.
It was cool, but
it was
like
bizarre.
Yeah.
But I very much liked it.
As Jeremy said, I give it a B.
Next category is Mr. Irrelevant. So basically something that didn't really stand out or stick with us for either a good or a bad reason. Just kind of gets lost in the chaos of things. Parc des Attractions in Madrid, Parc St. Paul in France, Volcania in France, and Parc du Bacassi in France. We were in France a lot.
We spent a lot of time
a lot of time in France. And the winner is Parc des Attractions, because the other three stood out more because of some defining feature, like Parc St. Paul for being kind of bad. Parc des Attractions being so close to Park Warner kind of just makes it like it gets overshadowed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we walked away from that trip and all we could talk about was like Gotham City Escape and the giant inverted boomerang, Superman, like all that good stuff.
I think last year we gave it to Bobby on Land, didn't we? And
for similar reasons.
Yeah, because it got overshadowed by like Efteling and Walibi Belgium in like a similar area.
Yep.
Or Walibi Holland. That would
they're
be
all
they're
the same
there.
region.
Yeah. So I think our choice is pretty solid here.
For the category of funniest moment, we're talking about some highlights from the trip, dumb things that happen, and we're sticking to specifically on-camera moments here. So, when I hit the bush on the Vekoma SFC at Parc du Bacassi, the Niglo show at Nigloland, riding Storm Force 10 at Drayton Manor.
Oh God, I wanted to kill Harry.
When Sarah rode the Kitty Log Flume at Drayton Manor, myself riding the Clown Ride at Flamingo Land, and then Sarah starting a fight with two of the Asterix characters in the Festival of Tutatis.
You know, I just want to say on the record, I just wanted to say hi, and then the guy character started kind of getting a little like, oh, like we're friends now, and his wife got pissed.
Yeah.
So the wife started the
They
drama.
were going at it.
They were, yeah, but I was in the middle of it.
Anyways, the winner here, this is a clear winner. It's the Niglo show at Nigloland. Yeah.
I am forever changed after being subjected to that. I don't know how much more there is to say, and if you haven't watched us experiencing that yet, I suggest you do.
Yeah. Wow. It was something.
So next category is parks we're most excited to go back to, and you can look at this at more than one angle. One angle is that it was so good that we can't wait to go back because we loved everything that's there. And then the other angle is it's getting something that we're so excited to go back and experience. So, that being said, the nominees are Park Warner Madrid, Thorpe Park in the UK, Plotseland in Belgium, and Alton Towers in the UK. And I think you could probably understand why for each of them.
Yeah, they all have a pretty obvious reason. Most of the time, it's a big signature roller coaster.
Or, in the case of our winner, one that has not opened yet, Thorpe Park.
Why would we so want to go back to Thorpe Park? Probably Hyperia, the massive new mock hypercoaster. Yeah, that'll get us back there.
I'm very excited also for Alton Towers because I didn't get to do Nemesis.
That's fair.
So that is something I'm looking forward to. I know it's a B&M invert, but it's like the B&M invert.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I feel like you should probably guess why for the other two.
Next up, let's talk best dark rides. We did a bunch while we were over in Europe. The nominees here are Valhalla at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, Nemesis Subterra at Alton Towers, Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland Paris, Phantom Manor at Disneyland Paris, and the Haunted Mansion knockoff at Nigloland. And the winner is Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland Paris.
You know, you can say what you will about Disney, but they make the best dang dark rides out there. They
super
are just
quality.
incredible. And that version of Pirates, I think, is superior to the two versions that we have in the U.S.
Yeah, you could definitely make an argument for that. It's really, really good.
All of these are great, but that one is just unbeatable.
Yeah.
So this one's a new category, and it's dedicated to our friend Matt. Best water ride.
Very
it all
fitting.
makes sense. It all makes sense. And funny enough, he didn't even write all of these, so actually he only wrote half of them. The nominees are Valhalla at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, Rio Bravo at Park Warner Madrid, Krampus at Nigloland, and Storm Force 10 at Drayton Manor. And the winner here was kind of obvious, I feel. It's Valhalla.
Yeah, that thing deserves it. That thing is just so cool.
Yeah.
That was wild. I was excited to experience that, and yeah, I mean, the hype is real.
It's definitely one that Matt would never, ever, ever touch.
Oh no, you get drenched.
Yeah.
Soaked.
Yeah, like the water is legitimately up to like your knees. Like when you sit in the boat.
I rode with my legs like scrunched up because I didn't want my like shoes touching the water because you have to ride with shoes. And I'm like, well, I didn't bring flip-flops.
But that aside, it's actually like an incredibly well-themed ride. And they have a lot of cool tricks in there. We don't have any footage of the inside because you can't film in there, but I definitely recommend just going and checking it out for yourself.
For sure. Let's talk best overall roller coaster. And for this category specifically, we have to exclude last year's winner, Ride to Happiness. Because we did ride it last year, we also rode it this year.
And it would probably win again.
Yeah, so we are taking that out of the decision-making here. But our nominees are Tutatis at Parc Asterix, Yukon Quad at La Paul, Gotham City Escape at Parque Warner, and the Smiler at Alton Towers. And the winner is Gotham City Escape.
That was just fantastic. It actually recently won another superlative video, which we counted down the best new roller coasters of 2023. Easily was first place for that.
Yep.
It's just an absolute masterpiece of a roller coaster. It has amazing theming. It's just 10 out of 10.
Yeah, all around, go ride it.
All right. To counter that, we're gonna now go into worst roller coaster. And funny enough, I only rode 2 out of the 4 of the nominees because I knew damn well that they were gonna be awful, and I was not going on them.
I wrote them.
And the nominees are Goodrix at Park Asterix, Hero at Flamingo Land, The Big One at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and The Boomerang at Belwarda. Why don't you tell them the winner, because I didn't write it.
Hero at Flamingo Land. It was between this and Goodrix. Like, Goodrix, you could at least be like, well, you know, it's still like a sit-down looper, and Hero is like, no, you get in a cage and you get tossed around and it sucks. Boo. Take it out.
I really took one look at it and I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Someone's gotta do it. And finally, the category of best theme park goes to our favorite stop of the trip, and the nominees are Alton Towers, Parc Asterix, Nigloland, and Disneyland Paris. And this was a tough one. We loved all of these for completely different reasons. We debated back and forth, but we are giving the winner to Parc Asterix.
Yeah, this one was tough because when you have a Disney park in the mix, it becomes a little complicated because like Disney parks are objectively like they put so much money into them because they have the budget. So you have to look at like what kind of, you know, level of park we're dealing with and how well they do it for what they are. And I think Parc Asterix at like the level that they are, they go above and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, theming, operations, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Storytelling, like they have a great balance of experiences there. I just adore that place.
I really do too. I was very excited to visit.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go, our Coastin Thru Europe Season 2 superlatives. If you've been to any of these parks, I'd love to hear what you think of these down below.
Yeah, and you can drop your answers too. Or, you know, if you have any categories of your own that you'd like to nominate, we'd love to hear them.
Definitely. So thank you guys for your support. We hope that you enjoyed this season. All these videos are available in a playlist. Just search for Coastin Thru Europe Season 2. You can go ahead and relive the trip.
I can't believe it's over. I mean, it's been over for a long time, but we've been editing them and like reliving them for a while.
It's been fun to look back on everything. It was a good trip.
When is season 3?
You tell us. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.